Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a loop of starting and stopping? It's January 1st and you're on fire. You've decided that this is the year you're finally going to get in shape, or finally write that book, or finally save $10,000. You set a massive, ambitious goal. You buy the gear, you download the apps, and for 2 weeks, you are unstoppable. But then life happens. You get a cold, you have a stressful week at work, you miss one day at the gym, and suddenly that massive goal feels like a mountain that's too high to climb. You feel like a failure. The motivation vanishes, and by February, you're right back where you started. Only now you're even more discouraged because you've failed yet again. If this sounds familiar, I have a secret for you that might sound a bit shocking. Your goals are the reason you are failing. I know, that sounds backward. We are told from birth that winners have big goals and that if you don't have a vision board, you're going nowhere. But here's the truth. Winners and losers often have the exact same goals. Every athlete at the Olympics has the goal of winning the gold medal. Every job applicant has the goal of getting the job. The goal isn't what separates them. The problem with goals is that they create a success-failure binary. You think, once I reach my goal, then I'll be happy. If I haven't reached it yet, I am currently a failure. Goals have an end point. Once you cross the finish line, you stop. This is why so many people work hard to lose weight for a wedding and then gain it all back 3 months later. They reached the goal, so the system stopped. If you want real, lasting change, you have to stop focusing on the mountain and start focusing on the path. You have to stop focusing on goals and start focusing on systems. As Eve learned the hard way, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Think about it like this. If you're a coach, your goal might be to win a championship. Your system is the way you recruit players, manage your assistant coaches, and conduct practice. If you completely ignored the goal and focused only on the system, would you still get results? Of course you would. In fact, you'd probably get better results because you wouldn't be distracted by the scoreboard. So how do we build a system that actually works? How do we change who we are without the crushing pressure of a big goal? The first step is a radical shift in perspective: identity-based habits. Most people try to change their behavior from the outside in. They focus on the outcome. I want to be thin, or the process. I'm going to go to the gym. But the most effective way to change is to focus on the identity. The goal isn't to read a book. The goal is to become a reader. The goal isn't to run a marathon. The goal is to become a runner. When you focus on the identity, every action you take is a vote for the person you want to become. If you sit down and write one sentence, you are casting a vote for being a writer. If you choose an apple over a donut, you are casting a vote for being a healthy person. You don't need a perfect record to win an election. You just need the majority of the votes. Every time you perform a tiny habit, you are proving to yourself that you are that new person. And once you believe you are a certain type of person, the habits become easy. You don't have to motivate yourself to brush your teeth because it's just part of who you are. The second step is the 1% rule. We often convince ourselves that big success requires big action. We put pressure on ourselves to make some earth-shattering improvement that everyone will talk about. But the math of improvement tells a different story. If you get just 1% better each day for 1 year, you'll end up 37 times better by the time you're done. Conversely, if you get 1% worse each day, you'll decline nearly down to 0. Small habits don't add up, they compound. This is why habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. On any given day, a 1% change feels insignificant. It doesn't feel like winning, but over months and years, those tiny choices create a massive gap between who you are and who you could be. The third step is making the habits easy. Human beings are wired for the path of least resistance. Resistance, the monster we talked about in our last video, loves it when you make your habits difficult. If your gym is 30 minutes away, resistance wins. If your phone is the first thing you see when you wake up, resistance wins. To win, you must design your environment. If you want to practice guitar, put the guitar in the middle of the living room. If you want to eat more fruit, put a bowl of apples on the counter, not hidden in the fridge. If you want to stop scrolling social media, put the app 3 folders deep or delete it from your phone entirely. And for the habits themselves, use the 2-minute rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Read before bed becomes read 1 page. Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes get out my yoga mat. The point is not to do the 2 minutes of work. The point is to master the art of showing up. You have to establish the habit before you can improve it. If you can't learn to show up for 2 minutes, you'll never show up for 2 hours. A habit must be established before it can be optimized. Now, why does Eve care about all of this? Because Eve realized that she was spending all her time dreaming about being a master monster, but none of her time practicing the small monster skills. She was so focused on the giant boulder at the top of the mountain that she didn't notice the beautiful bricks she could be laying right at her feet. When you stop obsessing over the goal, the pressure vanishes. You start to find joy in the daily practice. You stop being a failure waiting for a distant success and start being a success every time you cast a vote for your new identity. This philosophy of tiny changes and remarkable results comes from what I believe is the most practical self-help book of the last decade. The book is Atomic Habits by James Clear. This book is a masterpiece of behavioral science made simple. James Clear doesn't just tell you to work harder, he gives you a clear 4-step framework for building good habits and breaking bad ones. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. He explains the biology of why we do what we do, and he gives you the tools to redesign your life from the ground up. Whether you want to improve your health, your finances, your career, or your relationships, the principles in this book are the atoms of your success. If you're tired of the cycle of New Year's resolutions and broken promises to yourself, if you're ready to stop pushing the boulder and start laying the bricks, please read this book. It will show you that you don't need more willpower, you just need a better system. Your life is a reflection of your habits. If you can change your habits, you can change your life. I'm Eve, and I'm going to read 1 page of a book now. Just 1, because that's who I am. If this video helped you see your goals in a new light, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Join the Eve Squad as we get 1% better every day. And I want to know, what is 1 2-minute habit you're going to start today? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.